With the return of the successful BBC series, Colditz Castle is in the news again. This was the fortress from which, said the Germans, no prisoner could possibly escape, only some did. Between escapes, they published a newspaper and planned more escapes. With rope made from bed linen or any available material, they launched prisoners out of the high windows, sometimes, unfortunately, into the arms of waiting German guards. Or they bored tunnels like moles, almost with their bare hands. At the Imperial War Museum, the Radio Times is sponsoring a Colditz Exhibition which shows escapology as it really was, unromantic and desperate, though it was certainly imaginative. Another instance, this glider, made of liberated wood and gingham sheeting by Flight Lieutenant Best and other volunteers. It was to be launched from the castle's sloping roof. The tools they used could be called modern artifacts, not dissimilar to those used by Stone Age man. Group Captain Bader was one of the prison's most distinguished guests. Captain Elliot, Captain Barry, Escape Officer Captain Reed, Camp Show Producer Captain Howe, Second Lieutenant Allen, and Captain Lockwood. With a silk handkerchief map to guide them and a wooden mock-up rifle to defend themselves if they were challenged, they planned journeys of hundreds of miles across enemy territory as if it were for a casual afternoon stroll. A choice of homemade compasses and homemade dies for forging passports. In fact, the unnamed forger was a professional. A sample identity card for Captain Barry, 4 years in residence. Identity cards and work passes. Major Reed escaped to Switzerland disguised as a Flemish collaborator. He sent this arrived safely card back to Colditz from Phyllis and Harriet. And how about this German officer's cap? The peak was made of cardboard, dyed with boot polish. Red Cross staff preparing food parcels in London. These were the lifeline for prisoners everywhere. Without them, many would probably have starved to death. But the wine was homemade. Vintage Colditz, 1943. This chess set was hand-carved by Major Drew. The Germans were black, of course, and the English white. When 4 ex-prisoners recently returned to Colditz, they found many of the things they'd made still there, after nearly 30 years. Now they're on display at the Imperial War Museum, a reminder and a memorial to human courage and endurance. Cyprus, the popular holiday resort